Got a cool new mug for the Closers Cafe. Look at that. Look at that. All right. One more thing here. And then we'll rock and roll. Share my screen. Share my screen. Where is my screen? Where's the one that I need? Is that it? That's it. All right. Happy Monday morning, everyone. Less happy here in the Shanley household because the birds are done, but what are you going to do? I mean, I like the Eagles. I like the Phillies, but I also don't let it ruin my life when things don't go as planned. So there's a lot more important things to worry about, like what we're doing here this morning. In 6 months, you'll have 6 months of excuses or 6 months of progress. The choice is yours. This is one of the little, I don't know, what do you call these? Memes or quote cards or whatever that I sent to my my kiddos somewhere in the last couple of weeks. I send them a text message every morning at 6 a.m. 6 a.m. So I can tell you that your life can change drastically in 6 months. I feel like in my own life, if I go back 6 months to today, it is incredible how many things have changed for the better and how much progress I have made. So let's get to it. Let's get to it. Here, my plan for today is this. I want to share the results from the money email that I finally sent on Friday. So it was step 3 of the process I started last Monday. I have several replies. I have at least one appointment already from that money email for Friday. And I'm working on 2 others, I think. Actually, no, one appointment. One of the responses is looking at a refi, and then 1 or 2 other appointments. I'll share the replies and examples so you see what that looks like in real life. I have already done my CRM sweep for the morning, meaning I went in and I found people that were looking at properties. I sent them messages. I already got 1 reply. I'll share that reply as well. I want to talk about being more clear and concise in your communication, because I have several examples of that recently that have inspired me to share that. I might do some FSBO outreach, time permitting, and then I'll do cold outreach with Lead Deck. So that's the plan for the morning. I'm going to start by pulling up some replies. Oh, look at this. Here's a reply. I had Jeanette was looking at properties over the weekend, so I sent her this email. Subject line, Jeanette. I send 4, 5, 10 of these 5 or 6 days a week. And I'm exaggerating slightly, but not really. I mean, I would say I personally send this email 25 to 30 times a week to people looking at properties. Morning, looks like you were back on the site recently checking out some properties. Any thoughts on making a move this winter or spring? And she replied and said, maybe fall, not sure. So, not soon, but she's communicating with me. And I've actually communicated with Jeanette. I think I've talked to her a couple of times on the phone as well. All of these things, or a lot of this, is just making sure that when their motivation hits a tipping point, they use you, like they don't forget, right? That you're the one that has been helping them and been staying in touch and so forth. Jeanette is also on my monthly direct mail postcard as well, because she owns a property. So That was an example. That is a result that already came from my CRM sweep this morning. I was up early. Most mornings I'm up early. And that's something that's easy to do in my early morning, is to send those emails. I'm obviously not going to call or text, although I did text someone because she texted me at 4:25, and I was going for the appointment. I don't think she replied back yet. Maybe she texted me and then went to bed. I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to bring up. Okay, here we go. Last week, first week of the month, in most cases, I send my monthly home value update email. I send an email. I send a bump text to any of those people getting the email that I also have their cell phone and they're also subscribed. And then step 3 is where most of the money is made. Now, you will get some conversations from the bump text. But in my experience, once I added in this third step, that's where most of the money is made. And by the way, this is one specific example, but there are other examples where this is applicable, meaning the last step, right? It's like being 3 feet from gold, and then that last step is what gets you through to the gold. So the email is as follows. I have 3 variations of this money email, like quote unquote. The one I sent on Friday is like a quasi survey. Like I'm not actually taking them to a survey link or anything like that, but it's essentially a survey. So just curious, first name is the subject line. And then this is the text message. Whoops. And it has a PS as well. I don't know why the PS was down so low, but whatever. Karen, looks like you were checking out the value of your property at street address. Just curious, which of these would you say is the most accurate about why you're interested in the value? A, B, C, D, E. Hit reply and let us know. I have all of these, by the way, and we are working very hard to better organize all of the disjointed resources and Google Docs and things that I have in a format that is easier to search and find what you may be looking for. No promises as to when that may be available, but we are working on it. If you want this, I will do my best. Oh, Stuart prints them out. Oh my goodness. Well, good on you. I appreciate that. That makes me smile. Anyway, I will.
I'm school and still like paper.
Yeah, I will. I love it. I will drop links in the chat for those of you, because I have a doc that has the email script that I sent to Jeanette, which is very simple. I mean, it's just first name, question mark, subject line. And then, it looks like you were looking at properties on the site recently. Any thoughts of making a move this winter? And I've just been putting this winter parentheses or spring question mark. That's been this. These are a little lengthier and it's easier to copy and paste. So I'll drop that in there. Anyway, Karen replied. Oh, she said, just curious. Nothing to really get excited about. Jennifer said, not moving in 2026. Again, not anything to be excited about. Aaron was one that was curious. He wanted to sell, but his wife's not 100% sure she wants to do that. So probably looking to refinance. And I looped in Maria on my team on the mortgage side. And I think she spoke with him on Saturday. I need to check in with her after the session here to see how that went. Scott, now this one was good. Okay, this one was good. Thinking of selling, but the property would need to be 1 floor living, going to expand to within 7 to 8 miles from our address. Thanks for your due diligence. He spelled due wrong grammatically in here, but who cares, right? Who's counting? He was already getting properties from me in my MLS. I went and found his search, and we must have had a conversation where he had originally said a 3-mile radius. of his existing property. I expanded it out to 8-mile radius. I apologize for just getting back to him because he had replied Friday late morning. We did the session and then my day was complete chaos the rest of the day. It was just like I was running this way and that and whatever else. Anyway, I got back to him, let him know that I just expanded it out, which opened up a lot more results. And to confirm, to let me know if we need to tweak anything or if there might be any that they want to check out or want more info on. Okay. I'm sharing this for two reasons. Number one, to demonstrate that this stuff actually works if you do it. And number two, give you like examples of real conversations that this generates. So I hope it's valuable. But Jim, I have an appointment scheduled for. Now, Jim is interesting. I have no idea how or why. I've talked with Jim a few times. And in my CRM, the address for him, he said, it's not part of this conversation, but somehow or another, the address was wrong. So I updated the address, I resent it to him, and then he looked at the dashboard, and then I sent the survey, and he said C. He just replied C. So I said, got it, makes sense. Would it be possible for me to pop by for a quick tour and go over offer options we have available, maybe sometime this week? What week do you mean? I mean this week, like this coming week, if you're available. I'm available Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. Would Friday either late morning or early afternoon? So I have him scheduled for 11:30 on Friday, 11:30 a.m. on Friday. I think I've been doing this as well, which is letting them know that I'm going to send them a calendar confirmation. When I set an appointment with someone, I will say, I'm putting it into my calendar. I'm going to send you a calendar invite. I already know that this is his best email because we were exchanging that. I set an appointment this morning while I was waiting at the bank. So I dropped my girls off. I had to go quick look at a listing that's going live just to check on something. It's going live later this week. And I had to go to the bank. I had to go to the bank because I had a couple of checks that I couldn't mobile deposit because they were too large. And I got there and I'm waiting. The bank doesn't open till 9. I'm like, really? We don't open till 9. So I'm sitting in the parking lot and I'm like, well, I'm not just going to hang out here. So I called 2 leads that I got over the weekend, 2 cash offer request leads. The second one answered, Cynthia. We had a wonderful conversation. And I have an appointment scheduled with her for Tuesday or Wednesday at 2:15. While on the phone with her, at the end, I said, I'm going to put, I'm going to put this in my calendar and I'm going to send you a calendar invite. Is this the best email for you? Because it was a new lead and I just wanted to make sure. So she confirmed that that's the best email. I sent her the calendar invite and she's already accepted the calendar invite. Like that. The point I'm sharing that is, as much as you can do that when you set an appointment, you decrease the chance that it's a no-show and you waste your time and their time. And it also shows professionalism on your part, right? Like you're like, I'm organized and I work by calendar. Like they respect your time more, at least in my experience. One other thing I'll note of that conversation, it's just a good reminder. I hardly talked. I literally said, if AI were breaking down the call, I talked 10% of the time, if that. I asked 2 questions and then for 10 minutes just was like, wow, okay. Geez, I'm sorry about that. Like literally the whole time. That's what the call recording would be. And then when she was done talking, pretty much, I said, would it be possible for me to pop by for a quick tour? I kid you not. Like I would have preferred to have had the conversation live on here so you could see that, but I wasn't just going to sit and twiddle my thumbs for 15 minutes in the bank parking lot. So I was like, I might as well do something productive. It's just a good reminder. Listen more than you talk. The same thing when you're calling listing agents for step 1 of the 3-step blueprint. Just ask open-ended questions and shut up, because they'll just throw up all over you. I mean, I guess that was a gross way of saying it, but they will just drop all kinds of information on you. Anyway, a couple more examples here. Yeah, 2 more examples I want to show. This one. This is my fault. He replied again late Friday morning. The rest of my Friday was pretty chaotic. I thought he just replied. Sometimes I get replies and I'm like, did people just accidentally hit the reply button and didn't know what they were doing? I didn't realize he had somehow entered his reply like below. I don't know. I didn't realize that he had actually provided a reply. So this morning I sent him a personal Loom video response. I started with his email response on the screen, and then I brought up his property details in bright, and I brought up his seller dashboard, including offer options with fastcashoffers.ai. And we'll see what happens with that. He was more wanting to clarify that the information was accurate. And he said, we want to keep our options open. So the thing that I put at the end of that video is, like, I asked a question, which will tell me if he watches it, which I'll know if he watches it because Loom tells me if he watches it. But I'll know if he watches it till the end because I ask a question in there, which is, you mentioned keeping your options open. I said something to the effect, when the time is right, will you be relocating elsewhere, maybe somewhere warmer on a morning that it was 27 degrees? I weaved in the fact that it was kind of cold this morning. Or will you be staying here in central PA? So that way, what I'm trying to do is identify that, which then opens the door for maybe getting clarity on the timing. Or if they're just relocating and want to downsize, because this is a pretty big 2-story property, they might want to downsize or right size into a single story. Then I can get them set up on a property search alert, which I don't currently have. Then here was, yeah, go ahead, please. Oh, go ahead, James. I'm going to go grab a tissue.
Oh, he says, are these emails being sent out of Bold Trail or Google or something else? And who do you use for bump text? Is that auto, or are you manually doing that?
Yep. So all of that was shared last week on the sessions, which opens up. I'm not telling you you have to go back and watch them, but I do want to point out that we are, if you go to leaddeck.ai/closers, leaddeck.ai/closers, there's a link to join the Zooms, and there are replays and summaries and infographics of the replays. So all of this I did in Bold Trail for me. So I sent out the preliminary email through Bold Trail, and I sent it to everyone that I have their email and I have a property address for them. The bump text also was sent through Bold Trail, one to many. So it was anyone that I have their primary address, I have their mobile phone number, and I have and they're subscribed to text. So they haven't unsubscribed to text. The last email, the money email, the email that these replies were coming from, I also sent through Bold Trail. I demonstrated that on Friday. The way Bold Trail is integrated with fastcashoffers.ai, when someone goes and looks at their seller dashboard, it adds a hashtag. So I can go find all of the people that looked at their seller dashboard and send out that email. However, and this is a big however, for several months, I manually sent the step 3 email through my Gmail to everyone. I went and I looked at in the Fast Cash Offers dashboard. I looked at people that looked at their dashboard, and I manually sent that email one at a time. I highlight that because instead of immediately going to what's the most scalable version, I figured out what works first, and then how can I scale this? Okay. And it's like a simple distinction, but it like really is a big deal, because I think business owners in general want to immediately go to, how do I automate this? How do I scale this, et cetera, without figuring out what actually works in the first place. Like what actually gets, in our case, what will actually get me more conversations so I can write more contracts and close more transactions.
Josh, quick suggestion for you, buddy.
Fire away. I'm going to close the door there because Pam would be terrified if I had our pantry door open on a session.
I'll wait till you're done.
No, go ahead, Campbell. I can hear you.
Well, first off, I will tell you, I was rooting for your Philly Dogs because being a Georgia Bulldog fan and you having so many of our players on your
Yeah,
team,
that's
we were
true.
rooting for you.
Yeah, we're like
I
Georgia
hated that the last
North.
drive came up short.
Yeah, Georgia
Really
North.
hated that it came up short. Hope you guys made it. But hey, love the new webpage that you did there. One suggestion, like for that video that you've got for the 3-step formula, why don't you include the Google Drive link for the page that goes with it? That way people don't have to go look for it. That would make your life easier.
Sorry, what are we talking about?
Okay.
On here?
I just landed on your page, leaddeck.ai/closers.
Yeah.
And your videos, the 3-step formula to convert your database into listings. Include in the description down below.
Yeah, I don't know why it's not there. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
That
Totally.
way we don't ever have to ask you where it's at. It's right there for us.
And here's what we'll do. The way that this is being populated, I take the recording and all of that, I drop it into a Google folder, and we have someone that's doing all of this, and moving forward, that process, and retroactively, I'll go back and do this. I'll include any Google Docs that were referenced or other resources that were referenced so that those can be added there. That's a great recommendation. Okay. Last one here, which was not, this was a reply from my morning sweep from Marcus. Again, it was subject line, Marcus, question mark. He was looking at properties in Bold Trail. Looks like you were looking on, you were back on our site recently, checking out some properties. Any thoughts of making a move? Possibly seeing what's on the market for some good potentials. Also, I have a concierge business going, being a facilitator. I didn't know what that meant. That sounded like a lot of words. So I just replied back right on, are you looking for something for yourself, or are you an investor? And I'm curious, what kind of business exactly? It was a conversation, right? And all conversations are, any conversation is better than no conversation, whether it's good or bad. And then just looking for how to pivot that to the next step. So what was next on my list? Okay. I'm just gonna, this is just like, just Josh doing a public service announcement. Because I've seen a lot of examples of this, either with people in my organization or people in our founders club, etc. Clear and concise communication is more effective now more than ever. If someone replies or responds and you respond back with several paragraphs, just know that in almost every case, you have effectively killed the conversation. And this applies to email, to text, and to phone. Address whatever it is you're trying to address in the clearest, most concise way possible. And if you struggle with that, I totally understand. But we all now have lots of tools that we can use to help with that. For example, I had someone, this was like the final straw that caused me to want to share this. So she's not the only one that I've seen this in real life. This also kind of relates to my message last week, like stop including your email signature file in a text message. Similar, but different. I'm not going to say her name, but she said, I got a homeowner to raise their hand and they were interested in getting an offer on their property. And she sent back, I mean, just paragraphs of information. Okay. Take that information, pop it into ChatGPT or in Gemini, and say, can you please help me make this significantly shorter, clearer, and more concise? That's after the fact. She had already written that out. You could also just talk to the tool, explain what's going on, and explain what I'd like to communicate back. And can you help me make this in the clearest, most concise version possible? And I understand that from our perspective, if you're someone that struggles with this, you just want to, you want to make sure that you communicate all the value and so forth and all that stuff that you provide. And I totally understand that point, but it's just, I mean, you're just killing conversations. And people don't care nearly as much about all of what you have to say as what they have to say. So if someone engages with you, if you acknowledge what they say, acknowledge and affirm that you've heard what they've said, you provide some sort of value proposition or demonstration of value on some level, and then ask another question, like they just want to talk about themselves. I.e., for example, the call that I mentioned this morning that has turned into an appointment. If I had been the one talking more, it would have been harder to get the appointment. I literally just listened for like 10 minutes. And then was like, would it make sense for me to pop by for a quick tour? I mean, she was on the verge of crying at one point. She was going somewhere else at one point. I'm not even exaggerating. And all I did was ask 2 questions at the beginning. So this was an inbound cash offer request lead. So I asked, and I intentionally stumble around when I ask this question. Just curious, or we've already had a conversation. Sorry. So she's already answered. Hey, Cynthia, it's Josh. I even stumble around on the intro. Hey, Cynthia, it's Josh with eXp Realty. It looks like you had submitted your property on one of our websites yesterday at some point looking for an offer. Is that right? So I guess that's question 1. Yeah, I did, blah, blah, blah. And that was the shortest answer she provided. The second question was, and is, this is with any inbound lead I get, cash offer request style of lead that I get. The second question, and again, I intentionally talk slowly and fumble around with my words, because if you talk fast and you don't allow the space for them to process what you're asking, they will resist. If you sound super polished and you're fast talker, they're going to put their guard up. But if you sound like you're genuinely curious and just wondering, so I ask, do you have any idea? Now notice my face also changes, because when your facial expressions, even though they can't see you, your facial expressions dictate how some of your communication happens. So like I'm making faces as I'm doing this because like it impacts my tonality and my pace and so forth. So I ask, any idea like how much you're looking to get for it? And then I shut up. And most of the time, if they're inbound requests, meaning they have filled out a form asking for an offer, most times they will give you a number. She did. She gave me a number. I have no idea how she arrived at that number. I didn't ask. Normally I would ask, but she just kept talking so long that like we got so far away from that I didn't even care how she arrived at it, because I mean, whatever. And I had looked it up early this morning, and the number wasn't like crazy from what I had seen. So that's question 2. Question 3 that I ask is, can you tell me what you got going on with it? Like, it's just an open-ended question. Like, what's going on, or what has you in this morning? I think I said, what has, it sounds like she, because the answer to her first question, she gave me a number and then went on for like 3 minutes about the property. So the way I positioned the third question was, it sounds like an awesome property, and from what I saw online, it seems great. What has you thinking about selling? And that she gave me both the situation and like motivation, etc. And I literally, the next question I said, the next thing I said besides, oh man, blah, 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 was, would it make sense for me to pop by? Minutes later. Terrell.
So I would just like to support that and offer something I learned from my now deceased Australian brother-in-law. He had this sound that was acknowledgement that I'm listening, not agreeing, not disagreeing. And it was just, And people respond to that. So they respond to it as they want to be responded to. With whatever movie is going, it just continues it. But it allows them to continue and feel like they're being listened to.
100%. I probably did that on the phone call with Cynthia this morning 14 times at least.
Yeah.
And
we no words even need to be said. Just
it demonstrates or acknowledges that you're listening and encourages them to keep going. Because if you're completely silent, they're like, has this person hung up? Did they get another call? What's going on here? You know? So you have to, just some general, I couldn't agree more. Just, oh man. Oh, just acknowledging that you're hearing what they're saying. All right. What else have we got on the list here? Should we do some FSBO outreach? Do some FSBO outreach. It actually gives me.
Yes, please.
Okay, you bet. It also gives me an opportunity, very, very self-serving here. We are, as early as this week, Sean is going to build in FSBO and for rent by owner for our lead deck users. And if you're not currently, if you go to the home page, you can enter your zip code and take a little test drive. You can see different lead lists and what's available in your zip code and take a little test drive. And I actually have 3 or 4 Zoom test drives scheduled with people later today. But faster than we've been able to figure out expireds, we'll have for sale by owner and for rent by owner data directly in the app, and with the same functionality of being able to tap to talk or to call, tap to text, and tap to email. We're still working on expireds, and I don't know. We're trying a completely different approach that it seems promising. Because no matter how hard we try, the data that we're buying just is not as accurate as it needs to be. Specifically only related to, or mainly related to MLS data. Okay, so for whatever that's worth. So I don't have the data in lead deck yet. I will show you where I find data for free. I mean, Zillow is oftentimes the best place to start for sale by owner data. I also get it in my inbox because I am still paying for My Plus leads, which I will literally stop immediately as soon as we have the for sale by owner data live because the expired will be hopefully soon thereafter. And what brought this up for me, like there aren't a ton of for sale by owners in my market. You know, I say this often, but it's true. Like I'm in a relatively rural area. Like my whole county population is 200,000, the whole county. And then the county over is maybe 350. And the county to the north of us, the one with the one traffic light, I don't even know. It's probably like 50,000, something like that. Maybe 25,000 even. York County, south of me, is a little bit more populated. That might be close to 500,000. Anyway. But I saw a couple of for sale by owners come through late in the week that I was like, oh, you know, this might be good and interesting to call. So they popped in here, but I want to show, you know, what do you do if you know, if you're just going completely free. So I'll go Cumberland County in Zillow. And Zillow isn't the only place to find for sale by owners. In fact, two for sale by owner listings I've taken over the years. I haven't listed a ton of for sale by owners, but I have listed some. Two of them I got, and they weren't on Zillow. They were on like forsalebyowner.com, or they were elsewhere, maybe Craigslist. I don't even remember, but they weren't on Zillow. I don't know if it was like they were anti-Zillow or they literally just like didn't know that they could, you know, put it for sale by owner on Zillow. So I've just got Cumberland County here. I'm going to deselect all. I just want houses, townhouses. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna choose houses, townhouses, multi, condo, lots, and land. I'll do that. And then under more, I'm going to deselect everything except for owner posted. So right here, there are 15 for sale by owners currently available in Cumberland County right now. That said, I can tell already there are probably a couple of in here that aren't actually for sale by owner. But regardless, like these Shippensburg ones, this is like a manufactured builder and they put them there. But whatever, we've got a couple here that we can work through. So I'm going to start with, well, I'll just toggle through them. Well, this is an interesting one. A log cabin. Well, who cares? We're just going to call. Actually, I'm going to text. Okay. I'm going to text and we'll see if I get, I'm going to text through the list and then I will call the ones that I really want to communicate with by the time I sweep through. So I'm typing in, and this is where having it directly in Lead Deck will be helpful, like the ability to literally just tap it and text it, because you can't, even if I had this pulled up on my mobile device, Zillow will not allow you to tap to call or tap to text this owner data. You can copy and paste it, but you can't, like, they restrict that functionality. And, you know, I would say probably rightfully so as well. So I've got the message here, or the number here. Good morning. This is Josh with eXp Realty. Period. Just curious, is 21 Old Shippensburg Road still for sale? Send. James, I did get I haven't done it yet, but James sent me a way to get Siri to say my last name correctly. So I am going to do that. When I'm talking to text, I don't include my last name because Siri currently can't spell my name right, but James sent me something that I will definitely check into. See, this looks like it's a builder or something. So I'm gonna go on to the next one. This one is definitely not. I mean, look at this picture. I mean, what are we doing? What are we doing? I mean, I guess it's not when you open it up, but like, did they not realize that this is what it looks like? Anyway. All right. And this one could be a good one because it has a non-local number. I mean, it's not like, it's still a Pennsylvania number, but it's Philadelphia area. Good morning. This is Josh with eXp Realty. Period. Just curious, is 1227 Bridge Street still available for sale? Question mark. Ooh, okay. So here's why I said ooh on this one. Well, it's only been available for 2 days. So they may not have, they may not have had the pain yet, but I have investor clients that will absolutely make an offer on this property. I have clients that are wanting a townhouse that would have lower maintenance and be newer and that they can rent out. So I already know that if they're interested, I can confidently offer the next thing, which is, I'll demonstrate the next step once hopefully somebody responds here, where what I pivot to next after they answer my yes or no question, which is it still available? This is the first one that's not a blue text, but whatever. Good morning. This is Josh with eXp Realty. Period. Just curious, is 327 Melbourne Lane still available? Question mark. It's doing a good job of spelling this morning. I thought for sure it was gonna screw up Melbourne Lane, but it got that right. This one I know is definitely a builder. This one, maybe not. This is probably, if I had to guess, this is a flipper that is trying to sell it on their own to save money. So I definitely want to talk to this one. I'm just going to call this one. I'll text after if they don't respond, but I'm going to call this one. Voicemail.
Please record your message. When you finish recording, simply hang up or press pound for further options.
Yeah, hi, this is Josh, Josh Shanley with eXp Realty. I was calling about 367 Old State Road. I was curious if that is still available for sale. I'm going to shoot you a text now as well. If you could, let me know. Thanks. Text. Good morning. This is Josh with eXp Realty. Period. I just left you a voicemail. Period. Curious, is 367 Old State Road still available for sale? Question mark. All right. So I've got one reply now. So I'll pivot to my next question. Thanks for confirming. Period. Would you be open to paying a finder's fee if we brought you an acceptable buyer? Period. I have some clients that would definitely be interested in this one. So finder's fee, not a commission. And by the way, in general, I can't remember who to give credit to this to. I don't know if it was Sharon. I don't remember where I saw this recently, but what's the word I'm looking for? Referring to our compensation as a fee versus commission. Use fee. Stop saying commission. Use the word fee. It creates a different association in most consumers' brains. So I don't know why I never thought of that beyond for sale by owners, because I've been using that. I think I got using a fee with for sale by owners from Mike Stott. Mike and Donna Stott. They have a company, Your Coaching Matters. I've known them for years. I think that's where I got the idea of asking it that way to for sale by owners. But I don't know why I never thought of it beyond that. Like commission sales just has a negative connotation in general. So stop saying commission. And if someone asks you, what commission do you charge? I immediately say, well, generally speaking, the fee that we receive when we bring you the result that you're looking for, Mr. and Mrs. Home Seller, is X amount. So I don't even I'll change the word back to them if they've used it with me. We'll see what happens with that one. I don't like, if I'm being honest, I should have, if we brought you an acceptable buyer, I should have said acceptable offer. I should have said acceptable offer, not buyer, but whatever. I'm a little rusty here, and I didn't bring up my for sale by owner scripting, which I should have. Wow, this one's $1 million. This must have a bunch of land or something. 15 acres, yeah. And look at this. I mean, they've got a lot of, they put significant time and thought into their listing description. Good morning. This is Josh with eXp Realty, period. Just curious, is your property at 20 Pasture Lane still available for sale? Question mark.
Where they followed your advice and used ChatGPT.
They may have. More and more people are, are embracing AI in many different respects. All right. Let's see here. Oh, that one is texting me back. I'm getting the bubbles, the one that I asked about the acceptable buyer. Good morning. This is Josh with eXp Realty, period. Just curious, is your property at 205 North Middlesex Road still available for sale? Question mark. They said, hold on, sorry. Let me stop this share. They said, if we have a signed contract, I'm open to it. That to me opens the door. Now, two ways that I can or you could pivot. I know that I have at least one client that this could be a perfect fit for. So I'm just going to rock with that. If I don't or didn't, I will pivot in two ways. If I don't have someone specifically in mind, and we'll see how much time, how many more I get through, and if this specifically comes up, but I want to share this, and then you'll see a real example of it at some point this week, because somehow or another it will come up. So I have an actual buyer in mind. In this, for this one, it's, oh my goodness, they're out of town investor clients, Sunil and I forget, but I can, no, Kunal and Chartra or something like that. But they're saved in there. So, but I know based upon what they've told me and what they've been looking at, et cetera. So I have that specific one. I'm going to get more information and details for them from this listing. If I didn't have that, meaning someone specific, number one, I have a buyer database, meaning I've got a database of contacts, right? So I've got somebody that could be interested. What I will do is, so for example, that $1 million one, right? I don't have a buyer in mind for that one, but I might have somebody in my database. I will acknowledge, terrific, thanks for that. I'm going to let our existing buyer database know about the property and see if any are interested enough to want to schedule a time to check it out. And then pivot, or at least plant the seed for my 7-day stress-free home sale. Because I can position it as the fact that they've already acknowledged that they will pay a fee. I can pivot and say, you know, and I wouldn't do this immediately, because if you do it immediately, it screams of bait and switch. Oh, like you already planned that was going to be your pitch. But I will pivot to, you know, for the same fee that you probably already acknowledged in your mind that you would pay if I brought you a buyer, we can get your property on the market, get more exposure for it, and you know, see if we can actually get you the end result you're looking for. Now, I've got to work on that. It's been a while since I've been doing that pivot. I want to reiterate, you can't immediately pivot. So the way I would do that is, let's say one of those comes back today and I don't have a specific buyer. Awesome. Thanks for that. I'm going to let my existing database of buyers, of active buyers, my existing database of active buyers, let them know about your property. And if I have anyone who's interested, I'll get back with you later this week. And then whether or not I have somebody interested, then later in the week, I can follow up with them. And I would also, like, as best you can demonstrate that you actually did try to find them an offer, meaning like if maybe I feature their property as my deal of the week, or it could be that if it fits, if I submit it on fast cash offers and I've got institutional offers, like that could be a pivot as well. So anyway, let's keep moving along. I want to get to a couple more of these, because there was one or two in my email that I really wanted to. This one had a price cut. So this was over 400. They cut it to under 300, or under 400 now. Let's see here, 941. Hopefully you guys are doing this. I should have said this at the beginning. Like, hopefully you are doing this or doing work along with me and not just. Hey, this is Josh with eXp Realty, period. Just curious, is your property at 2258 Newville Road still available for sale? Question mark. There's a couple more here. This is the featured image, a stairwell. Gee, I wonder why it hasn't sold yet. I might have some ideas why you haven't gotten any offers yet. Anyway. 717, 9.
So typical too is like couple sentences description. That's it.
Fresh paint 2024. Oh, wow. You know. Good morning. This is Josh with eXp Realty, period. Just curious, is your property at 8 Wiltshire West Street still available for sale? That one got it. I knew it would. I mean, I don't even know how to say that. Wiltshire. Wiltshire is how maybe it would have had a chance of spelling it correctly if I had pronounced it correctly. That's a blue text, so that's good. That's at least I know I'm getting a cell phone. And the only thing, the reason why I'm bringing that up is, you know, it's going to a cell phone. I'm going to do a couple more here, and then I'm going to pivot and show. I'm going to pull up Lead Deck and demonstrate or show how we could find more active buyers for the property.
Again, Josh, about the blue text. What is that?
Oh, a blue text means I'm sending this message to another iPhone. If it's blue, it's iPhone to iPhone. If it's green, it's iPhone to Android. Or, you know, I don't know. Is Samsung Android? Like, I don't even know. I've been using an iPhone for so long. I don't even know like what is, but it just means a green text means it's not going to an iPhone. It could be, some other Android or whatever. It could be a Google phone, I guess. It could be a Google Voice number. It could be a Bold Trail, phone number. It could be a Go High Level phone number. It's just not an iPhone. It's why. It's also why, like, if you group text and it's commingled iPhones and non, like, it can like jack up the group text and so forth. Like, I don't know. There are certain people that I guess shame for that, or create some kind of I don't know, nonsense around that.
Well, I'll have to see if my Samsung Android has something similar.
Oh, it doesn't. I mean, you'll only get green to green. Yeah.
Okay.
Good morning. This is Josh with eXp Realty. Just curious, is your property at 1001 South York Street still available for sale? ? Yes, it is. Call me for more detailed information. Okay. So, which one is this? This is like a simple thing, but it matters. The reason why I put the address in there is, number one, it feels personalized, and number two, so I know when they reply, like, wait, whose is that? So this is this property.
And they may have more than one.
You never know.
Hello, this is Gene.
Gene, good morning. It's Josh. How are you?
Good. How are you today?
I'm good. Thank you. So, okay. So I've got it pulled up here. Looks like a great property, and I know that stretch pretty well. We sold one at what was the number? It was right close there. I think it was on, or maybe it was on. Yeah, it was on North Middlesex. Anyway, you got a little over 2 acres. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
What I wanted to talk to you is you can't really put all the info on that posting.
Sure.
It's 2 plus. It's like 2.25 acres. It's one parcel of ground, and there's one tax ID number, but there's actually 3 separately deeded lots there.
Interesting. Okay.
And the county, years ago, just put all them together as one tax ID number.
Yeah.
So, and the reason why I tell you that is because the house is on its own property. It's around a ½ an acre. And then the barn and the outbuildings out back of that are on a separately deeded property.
Okay.
That actually has road frontage and access to utilities on the street. So that's a possible building lot besides the house. So,
And that, but it's also on North Middlesex. It's just a different. Yeah. Okay.
there's I call it a flag lot. It's really
Yeah.
shape, and it runs there. It's 50 feet of property that runs to the right of the house. It runs back to those and then makes a T shape. That's about 3/4 of an acre. And then the third piece is behind that one, and that's another 3/4 of an acre. So the third one that's all the way in the back, there's no road frontage or no right of way or
Okay.
anything like that. So
Yeah.
you could leave the deeds as they are and combine those two and have like an acre building lot accessible to the road.
Right.
Along with the house, or you can leave it all together. We've had people that were interested in having, 2+ acres of ground, just leave the whole thing
Yeah.
together. My mother-in-law, my in-laws lived there for 60 years. My father-in-law actually built the house.
Okay.
And she passed away over the summertime. So the house, the property is in the family estate.
Right.
My sister-in-law is the executor of the estate, but since I have a lot of stuff. She just asked me to kind of spearhead the whole thing.
Yeah.
So, the property is in the state. There's 5 kids. They decided when they listed the property, they're like, you know what, let's just try to sell it ourselves. We'll let it ride for a while because there's no rush to sell the property.
Yeah.
So that's why we haven't listed it with a realtor yet.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Also, 5 kids. There's a lot of cousins and uncles and aunts. And there's like 4 realtors in the family. Well, if
Yeah.
Susie, then it's gonna make everybody.
Right. Yeah, you can't. That makes for an uncomfortable holidays.
Yeah. So just because they're not in a major rush, and because I've done this before, my wife and I have rental properties in Carlisle.
Okay.
So we're familiar with the process.
Sure.
So that's why we haven't officially listed it with anyone yet.
Okay.
Plus, I really think that property is going to be, especially with spring context, I really think that property is going to be desirable.
Yeah.
A family or somebody coming in from, out of town. But
Have you had any offers on it?
we haven't had any written offers.
Okay.
We do have people that are interested in it, and we've told everyone that because it's in the estate, and because the kids kind of want to know, everybody wants to be kept in the loop that, you can talk all you want, but we need something in writing.
Sure.
So we haven't had, a sales agreement or an offer presented to us. Plus that it's going to have to go through the estate attorney.
Right. Who
for his information. So,
who's doing the estate?
I'm not going to let you go.
Okay. Oh, no problem. No problem. The only reason I asked is I've got a couple that we're doing, and it just so happens that it's the same guy handling a couple of them. Okay. Is it?
Well, I'll give you a little bit more info.
Okay. Perfect.
This is what I would want to know if I was looking at it. And honestly, if I was 10 years younger, I'd probably take it and subdivide it myself. But I'm past that. I just
Sure.
do it.
Sure.
As far as the house is concerned, the two, what I would say there's 2 drawbacks to the house. One is there's no central air conditioning.
Mm-hmm.
They had 5 kids, so there was no money in the budget for central air. But it's like a Cape Cod style house. So up on the 2nd floor, there's 2 bedrooms and a bath and a bunch of storage on the 2nd floor. There's actually like a little loft office area up there. But it's built like a Cape Cod where it has vaulted ceilings up top and like little cubby storage
Yeah.
on the front and the back. So there's plenty of room to put equipment up there and add that if somebody wanted to, add a forced hot air or something.
Sure.
And then the other thing is it's all electric baseboard heat. It's all electric heat.
Okay.
So, and that's, not too desirable.
Yeah.
Because the electric bill that it generates, but that's the way they did it at the time. So
Mm-hmm.
those are what I would consider the 2 drawbacks there.
Okay.
If you had anybody that was interested, we would certainly show it to anybody that you might represent as a buyer.
Okay.
That's not a problem. I have asked the question too to the family. At this point in time, unless they get an offer in writing, they're not going to say that they will agree to cover buyer's realtor costs.
Okay.
And that's a question that we get, and it's a possibility, but it has to be presented, in the offer.
Sure. Yeah. Of course.
For the full price, and they said, well, we'll give you the full price, but we want you to cover, 2% of our costs or whatever it is, then they would negotiate from there.
Okay.
They're just not agreeing to that up front.
Okay. Fair enough.
But we have interest
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually just showed, my sister-in-law showed it yesterday, so.
Okay.
I'm the contact. Right now, I'm not in Pennsylvania,
Okay.
but my sister-in-law is there, and if we had somebody that wanted to see it, we could certainly bring theirs.
That would be perfect. I will, I would say very likely have someone, but let me confirm, get them some of the info and details, and then reach back out to you to try and coordinate. Okay.
Let me give you my.
Okay.
It's G is in Tom.
Mm-hmm.
Dunning. My name is Gene Dunning.
Okay.
My email is gtdunning
Mm-hmm.
at gmail.com.
Okay.
And you should, if you would, send me an email, say, hey, we talked on the phone, here's my contact information, all that normal stuff, because that's the only way I'm able to
Sure.
track of
Yeah.
the people that are contacting me.
I absolutely will do that.
So,
Perfect.
trying to think of if there's anything else. There is public sewer and water, but they did what everybody else did. They kept the well. So the public water is the in-house domestic water, and then like there's water down to the barn, and there's water outside, for outside spigots. That's all still on the well.
Okay. Gotcha.
The public water only runs the domestic water inside.
Okay.
The 2,200 some square feet of living space does not include the finished basement. I don't ever consider that actual living.
Yeah. I mean, noted, like if we were to put it in the MLS, we would note that as below grade finished square footage. So it would populate the same way it's looking on Zillow right now, in that it's, the 2258 is the above grade finished. Yeah.
And honestly, if you take a look at what the county has, a lot of people look up what the county has. What the county has is all wrong.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty typical.
It's all wrong.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing is the, the 3 separate deeds. Because that's not even on the county tax map. It just shows as one, and that's why, because in whatever it was, the late 60s, early 80s, it was the late 60s, when all those properties were bought, off of that farm subdivision over there. They just decided, well, let's put them all together and send them one tax.
Right.
There's just been one tax ID number ever since.
Yeah. Makes sense. Well, Gene, this was super helpful. I'm going to shoot you an email. That way you have my contact info. And then I will reach back out if or when we have somebody that, we want to check it out in person and see if we can get you something in writing instead of just a verbal. Awesome.
Thanks, Josh.
I appreciate the time. Have a great week.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Josh,
Harry,
you didn't ask him the question.
what question did I forget?
Does he own any other properties?
I didn't ask because he told me.
He did.
Okay.
Okay.
See, when you just shut up and listen, sometimes you don't have to ask the additional questions. So he and his wife own rental properties in Carlisle,
Right.
which is,
I heard that. I heard that part.
Heard that.
yeah.
Mhm.
So, but that is a great point. I will absolutely take note of that. And in fact, I'm going to include that as a question in my email to him. He gave me his email and asked him to email so that he had his contact information and he could keep track of things. I don't know what that means. So here's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to send an email. I'm going to see what kind of cash offer options populate in fast cash offers. It may or may it's low likelihood that any of those are going to work. However, from everything he shared, this is absolutely going to be my deal of the week. Absolutely. So I'm going to talk through as I do this. So this property It's an estate. He is the executor. There's 5 of them, right? So it's like, there's a lot of moving parts there. He said, at some point, he said something to the effect that, there's 5 of us, there's a lot of cousins and nephews and this, that, and the other thing. And so we have like 4 or 5, realtors that, so-and-so wants to use this realtor and so-and-so wants to use that realtor. And so we can't go any of those routes because then someone will feel slighted or this, that, or the other thing. For Gene from Josh, RE 205 North Middlesex. Hey, Gene, thanks so much for the time this morning. Below is all of my contact info. I will let you know ASAP if or when we have anyone interested enough. Sorry, I got to get the Zoom thing out of the way. Interested enough to check it out in person. You mentioned you and your wife owning rental properties in Carlisle. Do you manage those yourself? Thanks. Now, I'm open to other suggestions for what question to ask. I literally just came up with that off the top of my head. I don't want to manage them. So it's not like I'm asking to see if I can get that business. I don't want them. I'm just being curious, right? Because I also know that if they're managing themselves, at some point, they'll be sick of managing those if they aren't already. So I'm open to a better question. I'm trying to ask a yes or no question so that we can continue the conversation on a different topic. Notice also that was kind of boring because, again, I hardly said anything. He talked 80% of the time, at least. I mean, he told me, here's some of the details that I didn't share so far. It's 3 parcels on 1 deed. So 2 of the parcels could very easily be subdivided off, and there's already public water and sewer available. And it would be large enough that you could put essentially, like I know the county regs pretty well, it would be over an acre. So like you could put any residential structure on it. So it would be very valuable for someone who wanted to do that. If they wanted to be able to buy the house, subdivide off that, sell it, that building lot would probably definitely sell for 6 figures, the subdivided off lot. And then they would still have a half-acre lot with the home, etc. So there's any number of ways that I can spin this for my deal of the week as ways that someone could add value, and an investor or developer could buy it, fix up the main house, subdivide off the other, build a new construction, a spec house on the other one. And, so there's any number of ways that this could make sense. I'm going to send this, unless anybody has any better going, speak now or forever hold your peace if you have a better question to include there. All right, sent. And then I'm going to go over to Fast Cash Offers, and I'm going to have to wrap this up soon. If for no other reason, then my laptop is running out of battery, and I'm trying to keep these at 75 minutes or less. All right, so I'm going to pull that up here, and my guess is these are not going to be viable options. And I'm saying that because just knowing, like, it's not in a subdivision, it's not typical. He mentioned that the tax record data is way off. So, it's got way less square footage than what they have in the Zillow for sale by owner listing, and the estimated value is far below what they're asking for it. But so all of those could be strikes against it, or I have all the intel. So if we're following my 3-step blueprint, step 1 is find a deal. Step 2 is then use that deal to reach out to the active buyers. 3 strategies for that: posting on social, Facebook groups, etc. Sending the deal in your deal of the week email. 2, 3, finding the active buyers in lead deck. How would I do? Like, who would I be looking for in this scenario? So let me log in and just demonstrate that real quick. I am not going to bring up these offers because they are way
I have
off.
a quick question, Josh.
Yeah, go ahead. But one thing, I'm not going to bring up these offers to him because it was pretty clear that at least right now they're pretty firm on the 525 because they feel like, he said specifically to me, we just feel like the spring, this thing's going to have lots of action and activity on it. I mean, whatever. They could be right or wrong. Susan. I think it was Susan. Wasn't it Susan? Go ahead.
Susan, yeah.
Yeah.
So in lead deck, if you have a group of buyers in there, do you ever take one of these properties and like mass email them and asking them if they'd be interested in this particular property, or is it always a one-on-one conversation? Like you do the matchmaker.
I've tried mass emailing. The mass email I would do is my entire database, which I will do. I'm going to schedule that. So this is a beautiful, I'm opening up the loop for tomorrow, right? I'm just, I'm letting you know what I'm doing here. So tomorrow I will write and schedule out to send my deal of the week email, which I didn't send last week. So even though that I dropped the ball, it was a busy week and I didn't get a deal of the week email out. So, bad on me, bad form on my part, but whatever, life happens. I'm going to send that out tomorrow. To actually answer Susan's question, I have not seen a lot of success mass emailing a deck of 100, let's say, cash buyers. And honestly, like to email 100 of them, even if you go one by one through the deck, does not take that long. So what I'm meaning is when you send it as one to many, whether you do it in Go High Level or Bold Trail or whatever, you are just you're losing effectiveness because those are way more likely to go to spam or junk. When you tap to email directly through Lead Deck, it's sending from your Gmail. So I have evidence, like a growing amount of evidence, that if I tap to email them, I will get replies. Last week on Monday, a week ago at this time, I messaged 6. Actually, I emailed 5 and called 1 from a deck in here. One of the 5 that I emailed replied and was interested in that property. If I had taken the whole deck of, I don't remember how many it was. It wasn't that many because it was the real rural. But if I had sent like 100 of them, because I've tested it, like no matter how hard I try, it doesn't work as well. So it's one of those things where in this case, I would rather it be more effective and less efficient. But if I'm sending my deal of the week email, that's going to 1,400 people in my KB core, in my Bold Trail. I'm not going to do that one-to-one. It just doesn't, it doesn't make any sense. What I will also do tomorrow, because I'm running out of time today, this might make sense for cash buyers. Actually, there's a couple of different targets that this might make sense for. But I'm going to put in the zip code and see the available flippers, 39. So I'll probably start reaching out to some of them tomorrow. If I go to buyers, let's see what the cash buyers are here. 310. And now, even as I'm doing this, there are 2 in my mind that I already have saved in my phone that these are the kind of deals they will at least somewhat be interested in. What was the other one I was going to do? Oh, vacant land buyers as well, because sometimes those vacant land buyers are builders, developers, etc. And so because one of the, like, I can position it to them as there's essentially a acre plus buildable lot with utilities that could be subdivided off in this scenario. So 30 vacant land buyers. I mean, there's lots of ways we can go here. So that's what I'm going to do tomorrow. Now that I have that, then I'm going to do the deal of the week, and I'm going to do outreach. Now, here's one thing that I'm going to state something that for some may be obvious and some not. One of these is calling back. One of the for sale by owners is calling back. Hello, this is Josh. Good. How are you? Oh, hold on here. I was reaching out to a couple here. Oh, 1001 York Street. Got it. I'm assuming it's still available. Okay, so what are you thinking that route? Okay. Oh yeah, I do actually. Yes, I didn't realize that at first, but I do see that now. I don't want to just randomly throw a number out because I haven't pulled up comps and so forth. Yeah, on an acre. Yeah, I mean it's one story. What township? It is Upper Allen. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I have two people that I didn't even notice when I first looked at it and called. You noted that it's zoned for the townhouses. I have two guys that are. I mean, this is right up their alley. How much work have you done on that front? Like, I obviously I see the diagrams, but like, how did you get those, or who? Right. Okay. I see that. Yep. Okay. Okay. Sure. Of course. Yeah. And you said your name, I'm sorry, is Mark? Mark. I am, this is like top of my list because I have two guys who have just been like hounding me for something like this. And there's just not, there's just not many available that they could do something like this on. So let me get with them. Is it okay if they, go and check it out? I mean, obviously if or when we want to get inside the house, I'd let you know, but just like to go. Yeah. Okay. Mark, what's a good email for you? Because would you mind sending the survey? Perfect. What's a good email for you? I'll send you an email. That way you have mine. Got it. Mine will be coming from josh.shanley@EXP Realty. I mean, sometimes it lands in spam, but hopefully won't. Okay. Yeah. I totally get that. Well, I appreciate you calling back so quickly. I'm going to shoot you an email. I'm going to get with my guys here to see, if the one, I think this better fits what he's looking for than the other, but I'll see which of them is most interested, and I'll be in touch either way. Perfect. That's helpful as well. Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah, I got it. I got you. Beautiful. Thanks, Mark. Bye. All right. I mean, one of the main reasons I do this is my own built-in accountability, because I have to do stuff and document what I'm doing. I would, like, if I had not been doing these, I probably would not have reached out to for sale by owners today. I mean, I might have, but like the internal pressure that it creates me doing this, so it's so funny. Things never happen. Last week I shared that success looks like, and it's like, instead of, we think it's like this linear. This is perfect for Sam, the guy last week that has the 35,000 square foot house. He literally told me, I want to buy a lot to build 8 to 10 townhouses. This is surveyed and ready for 8 or 9 townhouses. And I know he'll buy it cash. And this guy told me, I'll hold paper, I'm negotiable on price. Let's make something happen. So I got to wrap this up, but I'm going to at least, close the loop here. Indian River 19966. I hope I'm spelling his name right. Actually, I'm going to make sure that I spell his name right. I'm going to use True People Search. I'm going to look up his phone number so that I make sure I am spelling his name right. And by the way, I'm almost like 2 more of the texts that I sent replied. So I don't know. That's good. People are actually responding. Mark with a K. For Mark, from Josh. 3001 North York Street. I think that's what it was called. My computer is about to die. 1001 South York Street. South York Street. Hey, Mark. We're chatting this morning. If you can shoot me over that survey when you have a minute, I'll get to work on this ASAP. Thanks, Josh. And I need to change this because I told him that it would be coming from EXP, which I forgot to email. I forgot to change that with Gene, but I didn't tell him that that was the email it was coming from. So now what I will do from that, because I'm not going to wait on this, is as soon as I have time, because I gotta wrap this, I gotta charge my laptop. I have a quick Zoom with Hillary in my EXP org. When I have a gap in time, which will be at noon, I'm going to call Sam. That's going to first one. And then the other one is a fellow by the name of Stuart, who had called me around the holidays about another building lot that I have listed in that same township. And I don't think it's perfect for him, but he specifically told me, anytime you have anything like this, let me know, because I know all the guys. And if I'm not interested, I'll tell you who would like or be interested in a project like this. Thank you all. Tomorrow, I'll draft up the deal of the week email that I'm going to send out on Gene's property. I'll have an update on what happened with Sam and Stuart on this property. And I don't know. I'll probably have some follow-ups on for sale by owners and so forth for those who are interested as well. You can check out the replays, additional resources, etc. leaddeck.ai/closers. leaddeck.ai/closers. Appreciate you all. Let's make it a great week.
Thanks, Scott.